farmer here. Good morning, everybody. It is 9:25 a.m., June 14th, 2025. It's a Saturday morning. The birds have calmed down a little bit this morning. Every morning, it's like an insane jungle landscape of noise in the background. It's pretty cool, depending on how you wake up that morning, I guess. So, what I'm doing today, as usual, I'm not 100% prepared, but doesn't matter. So, basically, I hope you guys can hear me. I put the microphone on my hat. I got these little nursery pots. Hey, Sloraya. Little bitty nursery pots. They're about 4 inches tall, 4 inches wide. I'm going to place them all down this board. Okay? I've kind of got a different way of holding them in place because I don't have any trim or anything like that. Hey, Terry. Congratulations on your final exam. So I got some potting soil. I'm going to plant some citronella seeds. And I'm going to this is just an experiment. I've never done this before. We'll see if it works or not. I don't know. I think it should. Plenty of sun out here. I've got an irrigation line that feeds these plants up here. A little tube. It's on a timer. And then I can run that tube down here and put sprayers on all the nursery pots. I don't have a greenhouse, so I'm just kind of winging it. And like I said, I've got these little guys, and we're going to go down through here, and we're going to fill them with soil, potting soil, and see if we can't grow us a bunch of citronella plants. And then, like, give them to the neighbors or something. I don't know. So let me get my stuff situated here. Your usual stuff that's required. You're officially on summer break. Some things I would suggest that you would need for a project like this is obviously going to be a cup of coffee. You can't do anything without a cup of coffee this early in the morning. Get out early in the morning before it's blazing hot and you sweat yourself to stupid. I will be using a drill bit. I have some nails. I have my planting pots. I have my potting soil. And I have my seeds in this nice little bitty pack right here that I had to order online. You can buy citronella plants at like Lowe's, Walmart, but they're like $20 a piece. They know you can't get them anywhere else. And citronella plants are known to help repel mosquitoes. So, it's not foolproof. And I got myself a little plate here so I could show you the seeds a little bit better. So as you can see here, they are very tiny. And but that's the citronella seeds. And it looks like there's some other questionable debris in there. I just bought a pack of seeds. I didn't go for like the gold standard of Miracle Grow seeds or whatever you would find citronella seeds. I don't know. This is just for fun. I'm just gonna take it easy, do this, and so yeah. All right. So I will place this up. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you. This is how I'm going to keep the little pots on this board, because I could eventually I'll maybe get some trim pieces on both sides so they don't topple over and things like that. But hey, Mary and Terry. So this nail will stick out of the bottom. I'm gonna nail it up from the bottom. Okay, that gives me about 1.5 inches of nail, and I'm going to use a nail instead of a screw because this is going to stick into the pot. And I'm going to have soil, seeds, and eventually roots and a plant. And I didn't want to use screws because the threads of the screws would rip the roots when I pull this off. This should hold it in place well enough so when the time comes for me to pull the pot off, I'll have one more little hole in the bottom. Not a big deal, but this being a smooth nail will prevent roots from attaching to it, and I won't damage the plant when I take it off. This is just something I made up on my own. Bramish is here. Hey, Bramish, how's it going? So, it may rain. I don't know what's going on this year with the weather. It's been raining like every single day. every single day, which is unusual. Being mid-June, I'm not complaining. It's just odd. You know what I'm saying? It's just odd. All right, well, let's do this. I am going to use a drill bit to pilot the holes for my nails. And you're like, well, why don't you just nail them in? I could just nail them in, but I want them to be straight. So I got a drill bit, just a tiny bit smaller than a nail. I'm going to make my marks, and I'm going to try to drill this as straight as possible down. Then I can put my nail from underneath. It'll stick just enough for this plant. Again, I want the nails to be straight. If you nail them with a hammer the good old-fashioned way, they may go crooked. They may go different ways. This is just going to ensure that my nails are poking straight up out of the board so that I can use them on my little nursery pots. I've been thinking about this for a few days. I know, it's crazy, right? Planning something? Okay. Alrighty. Trusty old pencil. There's my roses. See my whoa, there goes the, see my roses there? Those are looking nice. Alright. So let's bring you back over here. And you guys can kind of watch what I'm doing. And we'll go from there. And get the old tape measure. Take a sip of coffee. Robert's got his treat. He's sulking in the rain, in the wet grass over there. He knows that when I'm on the camera, that my attention's somewhere else. This guy is something else. All right. Like I said, about 4 inches. Is that what we're talking about each? Yep, 4 inches wide. And then I'll give it about an inch gap between. So every 5 inches, I need to put a hole in the board for a nail. So I'll just make little marks. They don't have to be, I'm not making them dead center. I'm just going to go ahead and make my marks first. And then I'll go by with my drill. And I'll drill all the little holes I need for my nursery pots. I don't care if it's perfectly straight or not. I know you see some of these DIY videos and they're using laser guided missiles to put everything in place and taking all these extra steps. I like to just use my ingenuity and kind of wing it. And I try not to overthink it too much because that kind of takes the fun out of it. And I gotta get all this stuff off of here. The coffee will stay. And my bucket of nails, my drill bit will stay. I don't want to lose that and everything. Where was I? 65, 70. This is an 8-foot board. Or is it a 10-foot? Well, it's an 8-foot board. We're going to be able to put a lot of these guys in. $85, $90, and $95 will work just fine. Ta-da! Done with that. This really isn't going to take that long, I don't think. Now, I bought these metal brackets. They're nothing fancy, but they're painted, so they won't rust. It could hold a 2x10, but I have a 2x6 on here right now. Again, it's just what I had. I'm missing comments and stuff in here. Oh no. You guys are just chatting away like crazy. All right. And I'm using pressure treated lumber as well, so I don't have to worry about it getting wet. We'll just go down here and drill our holes for our nails. Today is Flag Day in the United States. But if you live in the United States, you know that every day is Flag Day. For anybody who cares about flags. And it was intended for the American flag. It's also the birthday of the U.S. Army, 250th anniversary today. And they are going to have a big military parade at Washington, D.C. at 6:30 Eastern Time tonight. So, I don't recall any time in my entire life of a military parade going down through Washington, D.C. I just don't recall. Did it happen? Maybe. I don't know. I'll tune in, see what it's like. You see all these other countries parading their stuff and their military might down the streets as a show of force and stuff, but we're doing it as a celebration, right? That's what they say. That's what they say. Yep, all that's going on today. I'm full of all kinds of useless knowledge, Mary. Now, this board is attached to these brackets, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to nail these nails downward, and then I'm going to flip my board, and they'll all be sticking up nice and hazard-like. But it's up in the air, so I won't step on it. Bouncy board. Now, I know this is a long span, and typically you would have multiple brackets going across, but this is not going to weigh much of anything. Almost there. Let's see here. La 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 la. Almost there. Almost there. Two more. All right, done with the hammer and all that really loud noise. Where's my drill? There it is. Now I got to flip this board. Oh, that. All right. And there's my torture board. Nothing creepy about that at all, huh? This is just, like I said, this is just an idea that came into my head. This is not, don't try this at home. Certain restrictions do apply. See store for details. Batteries not included. Not liable for any injury or death. And then I'll just poke my little things in there and they won't go anywhere. I'll tell you how many I have here. Anybody keeping count how many I'm doing here? I have not kept count, so I don't know. I wonder how many other people will try this at home. Not that it's advised, because I don't want anybody getting hurt, you know. Make sure you wear safety glasses. Make sure you wear safety gloves. Make sure you wear a hazmat suit, steel-toed boots, ear protection. What else could you wear? Oh yeah, elbow pads and knee pads. A helmet. Any helmet will do, even a bicycle helmet. Make sure you brush your teeth. Trim your nails. And if you do all that, you should be safe for this project. That's my suggestion for safety. Now I got my big bag of soil over here on the ground ready to go as well. I'm glad you guys are able to entertain yourselves and chat while I'm doing this. And I can look back at the chat and see what you guys said. Here in just a minute, I'll look and see what's going on. Well, these little nursery pots were dirt cheap on Amazon. I mean, like, I got 100 of them for $9. Shipping and everything. At my door, Prime. $9, 100 4-inch nursery pots. They cost nothing. And just to think, if you do go to a garden center and you buy plants and they charge you that much, you know they're making a big profit. The seeds cost me about $10, and that was still with shipping and everything because I couldn't get them locally. And then, yeah. And if I sold these for $2 a piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I could have remeasured and had 20. He's over there just chilling. All right, now we got to put soil in everything, right? Potting soil, obviously. You can say you can say whatever you want in the chat, and I'll never see it. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I have chat replay, so I can go back and look at everything. Now, I do have garden gloves, but I'm not going to wear them for this. Just going to have to get my hands dirty. It's a little over a shovel full, this little shovel that I got. I'm not going to pack it in there tight, but I'm not going to leave it super loose either. Does that make sense? If you ever seen a plant sprout out of a sidewalk, you can understand the fact that the roots will find a way. That's my opinion. Been down walking down a sidewalk and this little flower just popping out of a crack in the ground. And there's all kinds of gravel and stuff underneath that concrete when they made the sidewalk. And until somebody comes along with weed killer or pulls it out, it's doing just fine. It finds a way. Hey, Robert. Coming to see what I'm doing? You come to see? I'm playing in the dirt, like you do sometimes. Yeah, this is going to go better than I thought. I was concerned about the nail idea, but I had to force the pot through the nail so it's really snug on there, and that'll keep it from falling over. Not too shabby. Yep. And the next fun part will be running my little sprinklers so that these get watered every day. And I may have to come with and water them again as time goes on, because it says it could take a couple of months before they actually start really growing. This is going to take some time. But I could use this method for all kinds of things if I want to grow from seed. And I did it this level too, so I don't have to stoop down to the ground. It's a perfect height. I'm not on my hands and knees, digging in the ground trying to do this stuff. I don't have a greenhouse, but it's high enough to where Robert can't get in there. Now, it's not going to be squirrel proof. Might have to see what we got to do about that. Squirrels don't like spicy stuff. So maybe if I do end up having a problem with a squirrel digging all these up, I can put, I have some serrano peppers. I could dice those up and sprinkle them on top. It's a vegetable. It's not a chemical. It should keep the squirrels at bay, and kind of a natural repellent. Serrano pepper is just a little bit hotter than a jalapeno pepper. Now, if I wanted to be real evil, I can get some ghost peppers and put those in every pot. Not the seeds. I have to scrape all the seeds out because I don't want the peppers to grow. I just want to keep the squirrels out. All right. There we go. That needs a little bit more than that one. Make a little bit of a mess. I'm playing with dirt. You're supposed to make a mess when you're playing with dirt, right? Now comes the part for the seeds. Now, Robert, where's Robert? There he is. There's Robert. Maybe if I can get my camera to turn around, get this plate out of the way. He sees a plate, he thinks it's a snack. It's nice and cool out here right now. All right. Getting dirty. You're right, man. I'm getting dirty over here. Here are my seeds. Now, I've seen people just take like pinchful, sprinkle all kinds of seeds into a hole, and but you're only going to get one plant per seed. I'm going to pinch just a few, maybe 5. I could get tweezers and just do one, but I'll do a few that I can just pinch. The smallest amount that I can pinch, I'll drop in the hole. And then we'll just go down here and plop them in. Shallow. We don't want them deep. You got to think about, in nature, a seed falls to the ground. It doesn't rely, not every seed relies on a squirrel or something to make it deeper to sprout. It just needs a little bit on top. That's all it needs. Robert's after bees again. I don't know what his fascination is with bees, but he loves to chase down some bees. Oh, this needs a lot more dirt in it. I remember taking agriculture classes in high school. It's soil. It's not dirt. It's soil. Like, geez, dude, take a break. Sorry. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. Relax. We're in a small town in Tennessee. Everybody calls it dirt. You know? Just don't lose yourself in it. La-da-da. Thank you guys for joining me this morning in my little project. After I do this, I'll go inside and be lazy the rest of the day, because it's going to get humid, hot, and it's going to rain. Watch some TV, maybe a movie, play some video games. I don't know. A little more dirt. Soil. Potting soil. I don't think it would sell as good if they labeled it potting dirt. You go to the store and you're like, potting dirt. Maybe it would. I don't know. I'm just babbling to myself. You guys may not even be listening. Let's see here. There we go. This is coming together nice. I'm excited. Bugs are starting to get me though. Another reason I'm planting these. Hopefully I can have some natural stuff around to repel the insects. Mosquitoes. Any other ones are fine. I don't care about any other bug. I don't like roaches and I don't like mosquitoes. All the rest of them can hang out. Well, okay, ants. Don't like ants either that much. Ants can do what they want as long as they do it in their own area. Stay out of the house. Almost there. I got this idea from random. I was just going to plant them around the yard. He's like, oh, you could sell them. Grow them and sell them. I'm like, maybe I could. And if I don't, that's fine too. I'll just have a bunch of citrulella plants. All right. I'll get the leftover seeds back in that tiny little pouch later. So that's that. We have gone through, or I have anyway, and I've put seeds in all the pots. They're not even. I don't give a shit. I get so annoyed by certain DIY videos on the internet, and they try to do everything to perfection. I put my seed out there. Yep. That's why you and Terry and all them get along so well. You got all these. He's putting his seed out there. He's getting dirty. Oh, man. Coffee time. What do you think, Robert?
I don't even know what you're doing.
Let's put this back over here. Now I have some more. I have to splice this irrigation line and run it across here and orientate. I can't talk. I need to read a book or something. Orientate the sprinkler heads towards the pots so they all get watered. Get all this other stuff out of the way. Now here in the States, there's this system called Mr. Landscaper. They used to sell it at Lowe's. Now they sell some garbage. But the company, Mr. Landscaper, is out of Florida, and their little system and kit is absolutely amazing. Super easy to use, very good quality. I don't know why Lowe's decided not to carry them anymore. Who knows? But they have, you can use 1/4-inch tubing, you can use 1/2-inch tubing to run your thing. Off one water line and pressure, you can run up to 250 sprinklers off one water hose, basically. So you've got a little attachment that goes to your spigot. I got a timer on it, and I have nowhere near 250, but you can add tons and tons of these things, and it's called Mr. Landscaper. And I know it's going to be backwards on the camera, but there it is right there, Mr. Landscaper. All right. And then they have all these different spray nozzles. They're just like $1 a piece. Some are $2 a piece, depending on what you want them to do. They'll spray in circles, they'll spray in a direct line, they'll fan out 180 degrees. All kinds of different combinations and configurations you could imagine. You could put these things in your lines and attach them. You got things where you can split the line. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on. But I just started using this bucket. I've got so many in here that I've collected over the past couple of years to allow me to do all the stuff I did at the previous house for the sprinkler system. And now I'm incorporating that here. I'm not going to go as elaborate as the previous house, but I'm basically going to just focus on this section of the yard right here, this one side. I'm not going to wrap around the whole thing. One side's for like birds and just grass, and this side will be my garden and flowers. I'm not going crazy. Anyway, what else do I got here? Now you can attach those little sprinkler heads just on the line itself. I'm doing a sales pitch for Mr. Landscaper. They haven't paid me, but anyway, you got this spike that you can stab in the ground. You're supposed to hammer it in the ground. That's how strong this is. And you could get it next to your plant, and your little spout, your sprayer, in whatever configuration you want, attaches here, and it does the job. You've got a little volume control nozzle here too to control the amount of water it sprays out. It's just a really good system, and it's made in the USA. Another good thing about it, I think, probably with foreign materials, but still here in the US, which I like as well. All right, they went with some Orbit is the product they went with at Lowe's, some Chinese thing, and now tariffs. Maybe it'll go back up. Maybe they'll go back to Mr. Landscaper. Probably not. Anywho, like I said, I can go on forever and ever and ever. We're not going to do that. I'm going to use the 180 nozzles. So it'll spray down like this and just hit like maybe 7 or 8 of these at a time. And I'm thinking about I'm just going to jerry rig this onto that board where the spike is hanging out like this. You guys are too far away. So I need it to spray a bunch of these plants at once because I don't want to put a nozzle on every single little pot. It's not necessary. But if I can get this attached on there. Not going to be hard to do. And then I can have my nozzle sprayed down, and it's almost perfect. And then I can, like I said, I can probably get at least, I'm thinking 5 or 6 plants per nozzle, easy, with one spike. Now I could trim this off, or I could poke a hole in the fence, and I'm not doing all that. This can be reused for something later. If this doesn't work out, this is just an experiment. Does it hook to a water hose? The main piping that feeds all this connects to your water spigot on the side of the house, like a water hose, but it's not the same material as a water hose. And with that attachment, I incorporated a timer so I can just leave the water on, and I got it set for like 2 a.m. to run 20 minutes at night, so the water can absorb, it doesn't evaporate, that type of thing. And it can do it every night if I want, multiple times throughout the day. I can say no, do it once every 2 or 3 days. I got all the options I could ever want. If I wanted to do spray for an hour or just 5 minutes, all that good stuff. Come to Florida, I need some things done around the house. Vacation to Florida. I don't think your cats would like Robert. I was telling somebody, and I heard this from somebody else too, and it made sense to me. It's like, how do you know how to do all this stuff? You know, when you're forced to have to do it yourself, you learn. You just learn. I didn't grow up in a house where we could hire a handyman to come by or an electrician. We just had to do it ourselves. And then I took some carpentry classes in high school, learned some stuff that way. I always liked tinkering with cars. I just learned. I had the book. There was no internet. I had the book, went through, followed the steps. I accumulated tools over time, and I just used my imagination. I kind of just think about it and envision it, and then I just do it. And if it doesn't work, that's okay too. You know? Trial and error. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of thinking right now. I'm holding this here and trying to analyze how I'm going to do this and how it's going to work. I got to go back to my tool room and get a couple of other things to make this work. I thought I brought everything I needed out, but I did not. I need some plumber strap and some screws so I can attach this to the 2x4 and hold it in place. So, with that being said, I'm going to step away. You'll be able to hear me as I go along, but you won't be able to see me. You can stare at the flowers while I'm gone. There you go. And the ladder and all the other stuff. I will take another sip of coffee, though. Doing stuff yourself isn't that hard. It really isn't. Now, yeah, I hired somebody to do the shingles on the roof. That would have taken me at least a week of just nonstop working on my own to do it. And they did it all in 4 hours, and they're experienced. Something like that, you get somebody else to do it. You may not be able to hear me, maybe breaking up. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know how far this stuff reaches anymore. I need my 10 snips. Oh, come on. I know I have plumber straps somewhere. You gotta be kidding me. I always have plumber strap. Where is the plumber strap? Come on. Really? Well, dang it. Unless it's up here on one of these shelves that I put up. I don't know. I don't see it. Can't believe I don't have plumber's strap. What the hell? Alright, we're just going to have to butcher. Okay. I don't know if I was out of range or not, but I'm back. We have to adjust fire and do something different. Stop, Robert. I don't know if you're able to hear me the whole time. No, I've replaced a shingle or two, but I haven't done a whole roof. You know what I'm saying? Anywho. Alright. I'm going to have to get my ladder out and rethink this for a second. I got to screw these spikes into the board because I don't have plumber strap. I'll have to get another spool. Plumber strap is a spool of metal, flexible metal. It's about a ½ inch wide and has holes all down it. And you can cut it to any custom length you want, and you strap things to walls or joists or rafters, and it's called plumber strap because plumbers use it a lot to suspend the plumbing underneath your house with it. But it can be used for air ducts. It can be used for all kinds of stuff. I've used it to repair things with. I had a wheelbarrow that was plastic, and it got a crack in it, and I just cut little snips of the plumber strap and held the plastic together on the with the plumber strap. Hey, Nucci. We are planting citronella plants on my little setup here. And we're drinking coffee, and now we're doing the irrigation part. So I'm just gonna have to drill a screw through this plastic and into the board. That's just what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna stop because I don't have a certain thing that I wanted. But I'm trying to envision. I've used these spray nozzles a lot, so I kind of know how they work and how they're going to fan out and stuff. So we'll get this one drilled in here. Yep, that probably works even better than plumber strap. I was just overthinking it with the plumber strap probably. Let's see. Got a couple more of these guys. So that's going to cover about 5 of them, I think. Maybe 6. It'll cover 6. And they can overlap. So I need to go about right here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. My scientific method here. Oh man. I'm doing 6 time and I've got 19. I may have to use a different nozzle on the last one and see if I can adjust it to make it hit everything. Alrighty. Do 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 do. La da da da. Man, it's so humid out here. All right. So now we have our Terry still on the road. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Do 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 do. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Sing it, Terry. I'm sure he's tired of that song. We hear this all the time. Yeah, anyway. Sorry, we're not truckers. That's just what we think about when we hear about a trucker going down the road. Is that Willie Nelson that sings that song, On the Road Again? No, it's not Willie Nelson. I don't know why I said him. It kind of sounds like him in a way. Who sings On the Road Again? I don't have my other phone to tell me. Is it Willie Nelson? I have the one phone, so I can't look it up without messing up the live stream. Oh, this is gonna... These two can... Well, I don't want to do that. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll know what I'll do. I'm a splitter, pink, pink, pink. And we'll just cut this line here where I got some slack. Maybe it was Willie Nelson. Why don't you guys let me know? It's the first thing that popped to mind. Oh no. I don't have enough of three-way splitters. Oh, dang it. Gotta go back to the other room again, see if I can find them. I know I got them somewhere. If I don't, this is gonna halt my project. I thought I had a bunch of these three-way splitters. That won't work either. Sorry, I'm out of the frame of the camera. But you guys are a forgiving bunch. Alrighty. Let's check on here, see if anybody come up with the answer. It was Willie Nelson. Cool. I surprised myself. I've got to go and let's see. Do I have anything down here? Nope. I got some other sprayers, but I don't have any splitters. Dang it. I have some couplings and some other doodads, but I need a three-way splitter for my irrigation line. All right, I got to step away for a second again. Please forgive me. I do this quite often. Robert has finally understood that I go back and forth 20 times. I do have some. Haha, I knew I had some. There we go. A little stash back here. I have if you guys can hear me, I have a drawer in my toolbox that I dedicated solely to all the irrigation stuff. I got so much stuff. Kind of unsettling. But the show will go on. I do have the parts needed. I know, back and forth, Robert. That's what I do. I'll get halfway across somewhere and forget what I was doing. Do not jump on me. There we go. Little three-way splitters. Oh gosh. Don't say stuff like that, Terry. What the hell? Your stuff's boring, so I gotta listen to Malcolm because he'll ramble on about funny stuff. All right. So that'll come around about like that. Yay, I have my three-way splitters. I knew I had a bunch of them. So we'll use the trusty old pocket knife here, and we'll cut our tubing to the lengths we need. Again, doesn't have to be scientifically accurate. Let me get you guys over here so you can see what I'm doing. Excuse me, Robert. I know, you're excited. All this going on. Normally we just lay around and take it easy. What are you doing? So, I've got to run this tubing behind here. And there's a gap in the fence here, which is working out great. I'm using that to my advantage. So I'll attach my little tubing to my three-way splitter. And then I'll get another three-way splitter. I have to say splitter at the end, or Terry will take that and run with it as something else. And we'll attach it here. Good thing Johnny B's not here. He would probably add to the conversation and in a way. I don't know how else to say it. Dirty-minded people out there. All right. Happy little seeds will be growing happy little plants soon. And then we'll just attach this on here, which is quite a task, because let me show you why it's a little difficult to get them on there. See that little barb on the tip there? The hose has to go stretched out and go past that barb so that it doesn't pop off later on when everything's working. I still got that happy song stuck in my head. I like it. It's a happy song. What's not to like about it, right? I really liked that song when it first came out too. Just hadn't heard it in a while, and then for some reason, I don't know what. Probably a YouTube video. Somebody played it. I was like, oh yeah, happy, happy, happy. Get on there, you sorry dog. There is a trick that you can use to get this to slide on there a little bit better. Oddly enough, chapstick will work. Chapstick will work, kind of waxy, and that'll help the tubing to go onto the barb. I'm off on the weekends now, for the most part. So yeah, Mary's probably out driving around. I know, I didn't ask. So we need another piece of tubing, and then that'll be all hooked up. And then we'll put our nozzles on there, and we'll run the system and see how well it sprays. I've never done this setup before. This is just something to do. Now, if I ever wanted to carry this on and have stuff spraying somewhere else, I could. There's no limit to it. I also have these little guys here that were intended for one thing, but I use them for something else, and I'll show you. So if you ever have cable TV or satellite TV installed at your house and they tack it all down the side of your house, they're using these little guys. But these work out perfectly for this irrigation tubing. So I'm going to kind of, keep everything suspended, and I'm going to use these little guys to hold my tubing up and keep everything straight. And then they just nail right into the board. It's an absolute perfect fit. I just happened to have these and I saw them and I was like, wait a minute, that would just do perfect. And it does. It does pretty damn good. And it does, like I said, it doesn't pinch the tubing, so I can pull the tubing back and forth behind these little clamps and adjust it as needed. Now, you have to agree, I would assume you would agree with me, that if you saw this on another channel where they do all these DIY projects, you'd have to spend $300 and all this specialized tubing and all this crazy stuff, like you're going to a home show or something like that and you're in some kind of competition. But in my opinion, I don't give a damn. It can look a little wonky. It's just fine. All right, so back to my spray nozzles here. Now this one is a 180 degree spray nozzle. So when it goes to the tip on a very fine pinpoint nozzle, it'll spray water out at 180 degrees. That one I will definitely use on the center one. Now this just screws into here, into the tubing. And it doesn't have to screw all the way. It can, but I want to be able to adjust it. So I don't screw it in all the way, and now I can see that the nozzle is going to spray down, and I think it's going to spray down almost perfectly, and that's by pure accident. I didn't plan it that way. Honestly, I did not. I wasn't thinking about how I'm going to get this out. I just wing this stuff, guys. I really do. I just kind of wing it. Should I do the 180 on that one too? Probably. I probably should just do 180s on all of them to ensure that I have full coverage. And I can swap these out at any time. So it's got little threads that go into the tubing, and that's what holds it in place. So we'll get this one put together. And you get to see the back of my neck while I do this. There we go. We're almost done. Here in the next 2 minutes, I'll be able to turn the water on and we can test it and see if it's going to work or not. It's going to work. And it will take some adjustments. And I know that, so it's going to be okay. All right. So, there you go, ladies and germs. That's what it looks like all the way down. And I think it's going to work out pretty damn good. I have a bird above my head on the hummingbird feeder, which I need to change the solution out. I'm going to bring this back a little bit. Now I'm going to go turn my turn the system on and make what adjustments I need. So just hold tight for a second. Do. Can't nothing keep me down, 'cause I'm happy clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. All right. Now this same sprinkler system feeds my tomato plants, feeds my plants up there, waters my roses. So yeah. I don't want to get the phone wet. It's spraying out too far. Robert, you're just going to get wet, buddy. I mean, the width of the spray is great, but it's shooting out about 5 inches too far. How do I adjust that? I'll have to saw off the end of the stakes. I'll have to trim them off. See, now this is the conundrum with kind of just winging it. There's some trial and error. And right now we're in the error phase. Where's my tape measure? About 8 inches. It's spraying out 8 inches too far. Damn, that's that whole spike almost. Jeez. All right, I got an idea. I have to go get some wire ties and some snips, and we're going to modify them without having to cut the stakes. Turn that off. I'll need the snips to cut the plastic so I can adjust the tubing, and then I'll need the wire ties to strap them down where I want them. It rained last night. These plants are going to be soaked. There's a little loop here. Ta-da! There's a little loop here that holds this tubing. And I would have to undo this, this, and this, and this. Or I can just cut that little loop off and it'll release my tubing for me. Which is a lot easier. Now I have access to that. This just pops off like that. Then I can go down here anywhere I want and zip tie it to the thing and try again. And this should allow me to adjust it exactly where I need. So let's go ahead and trim these others off. Now the pet door, I did a lot of videos and I cut and pasted and made that video. This is just a live stream, raw footage of me figuring this out and putting it together. You guys get to see my mind at work. Kind of creepy, huh? And I said 8 inches back. So, gosh, it's got to go way back there. My nozzle has to go way, way back here like this. Almost all the way back it can go. All right. Not a problem. I got the power. Okay. This is actually going to work out pretty good, being there's a groove in here for me to kind of hold it in place. Now I'm not going to torque it down because I'm going to turn the hose back on again, and I want to be able to adjust it and fine tune it to the exact length I need. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that turned around. All right, so bring me down, can't nothing bring me down, 'cause I'm happy. You hear that dripping sound? I've got this I got this crate down here. It holds a lot of my gardening stuff in it. And Robert likes to drink the water out of the top of it. Rainwater, it doesn't matter. He likes to drink out. He hardly drinks out of his bowl. I clean his bowl out, soap and water, fresh water. He'll drink out of the bird bath, and he'll drink out of the top of this lid. Now, one of my plants, when it gets watered, all that water comes out of the bottom of that plant, and it fills this lid up for him. You know what? Animals drink out of mud puddles and lick their own butts, so I think it'll be okay. Whoopsie. Okay. We're ready to turn the water back on again and see how this works out. I'm going to move the camera down here a little bit so you guys can see. Maybe you'll be able to see the water spray itself and me struggling with getting it adjusted. I've been doing this for an hour? Jeez. It doesn't feel like an hour. I've made a mess. Definitely made a mess with all the stuff. I won't put you through the cleanup phase. Let's go turn the water back on. Test this out. By golly gee willikers, I think it's working. Yep. Damn it, Malcolm, you're a damn genius. I'll tell you what. Go back just a little bit. And that's going to water every one of them for me. Nice. Water running down my arm. All right. This is a complete custom setup here, guys. Complete custom setup. Patent pending. And all that other good stuff. I'm glad I went with the 180 sprayer. Now this is just to water it at night. I will come back with a water hose during the day after work, kind of give them a little spritz as well. Or I could just run the sprinkler again to make sure they're all getting water, sufficient water. I think they are. Yep, this is looking good. They're all getting water. I'm just looking at each pot as I go down the line here. And there you go. my custom little system here. So yeah, and there's the Robert's constant water bowl. But the water is spraying into each plant, as you can see, and they're not going anywhere. And this is kind of what I envisioned. I had to adjust fire a little bit, make some changes, but fully custom, and that's what it's going to look like. I've got 19 potted plants, citronella plants. They're going to get sun. After about 2 o'clock, they won't get direct sunlight, but they'll still get sun. So they're going to get sun majority of the day, and then after 2, which I think is good so they don't get scorched, you know. There's my roses. They're coming up pretty good. This one's doing really good. As you can see, my cucumber plant has completely taken over this trellis. There's some other sprinklers that I use in these gardens as well. My bell peppers are getting taken over. I did not plan this well. My tomato plants are 7 foot tall and cascading over each other. Again, I did not plan that well either. I'm not a master gardener by any means. I'm just having fun with it. Just throwing it out there and see what happens type thing. And enjoying a cup of coffee while I do it. And there's Robert. Hey, Robert. What you doing? Where's your ball, Robert? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to let you guys see me do this little project in real time. According to the clock, it took 1 hour and 12 minutes, and that's with me running back and forth and figuring things out. So if you want to do something like this, there's other ways if you don't want to get this exact sprinkler system. You can get a piece of PVC pipe and drill little holes in it and let it drip down in your plants. That's one way too. But yeah, there it is. It's all getting watered. Maybe I'll grow some citronella plants. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I may get back on later. I don't know. It's Saturday. I normally don't do anything on Saturdays. But it's supposed to rain, and I want to get this knocked out before it gets hot as well. So, but thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, family, enemy, doesn't matter. Tell somebody, share these videos. I greatly appreciate your support, and I want all of you to have a great day.